Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Extra Point. With me tonight, I have Griffin Barfield, Daniel Dungan, Patrick Driscoll, and
Yo,
Leah
yo.
Hart. And I'm your host, Kate Woynerowski. So welcome back to another episode. Do we want to start up with some college football pick'ems?
Let's do it.
All right. This is kind of an interesting weekend. I mean, we had a chaotic last weekend, so hopefully stuff's starting to calm down, but we've got a couple ranked matchups that should be pretty intriguing. So let's start out with the SEC. We've got number 9 Alabama coming off that loss to LSU, going to the SIP at Ole Miss. Guys, who do you have here? Number 9 and number 11.
Bama.
All right,
Yeah,
Patrick, start off with your analysis there.
I said this last time, and even though they did lose against the Tigers, Bama's not losing a football game again this year. They're just too good. Nick Saban's obviously going to do the same thing like I said last time. I'm sure he sat him down after LSU. I mean, it was a heartbreaker too. It's not like LSU won comfortably by any means, and LSU is a dang good football team. And with Bama likely not being in the playoffs, yeah, I just don't see him. I don't see him losing another game. I don't even think this Ole Miss crowd's really going to affect them that much because they've already been in two completely insane environments with Tennessee and LSU. So I think Bama is just going to regroup, roll in, business trip. They're going to get the job done.
No.
Yeah, I got Bama too. I mean, they came off that tough loss against LSU last week, but I mean, they always seem to bounce back. They had two tough losses this year as a whole, but I don't think they're gonna lose another game like Patrick said. They're just too strong of a team. I feel like, last game it wasn't like a landslide, like it was super close, came down to the last play. I mean, it was like out of Bryce Young's control to like take it back another possession, but I think, Bama's going to take this one. Nice road win.
All right, Griffin.
yeah, I got Bama as well. This is the first time that Bama have been a two-loss team before the Iron Bowl since 2010, I believe. And I don't think Nick Saban will be able to do with that, especially in a game like this. Your stars come to play, and I think Bryce Young, Will Anderson, and co get it done.
All right, Daniel.
Bama's been in a lot of close games this year, so they're kind of know how to handle that, or at least they should. I don't really see it getting too close, but Bama will win.
All right. So we've got a sweep here at the Grove. That should be very interesting. I think it could be another close game potentially. Almost got that high power offense, so we'll see what happens there in that matchup. But moving on now to the American Conference. Can't believe we're talking about this. We got number 22 UCF going to number 17 Tulane. Guys, Tulane, number 17, 81. So not in CFP contention, but they are coming off a really nice season so far. So guys, who do you have for this one? I'll start with Leah here.
Yeah, I got Tulane. I mean, everybody didn't really expect them to be anything this year. I mean, they haven't been really anything in the past, 5 years or so. So I think they were kind of a surprise to everybody. So, I mean, even getting in the top 25 is kind of a big deal for them. I think they got it this week. Big home game. I mean, it's a night game too. I think, I don't know, maybe 3:30 game, I'm pretty sure. But I think, like they haven't had a bit of a test this year because now they're going to play a ranked team of UCF. But I mean, like the home advantage is kind of big for them. So, I mean, I think Tulane's going to pull it out.
All right, Griffin.
Like Leah said, it's a home game in Big Easy, New Orleans. These fans have been waiting for this for a while. I'll just keep it short and simple. I like Tulane because of that home field advantage.
Yep. Daniel.
Tulane because of the home field advantage. I really didn't expect them to be this good. And I also want UCF to lose because they're ditching the American Conference for the Big 12. So
That's a good point. Good point there. And I almost forgot about that, actually. Patrick, do you agree?
I agree with everyone all across the board. I'll also keep it short. I've been watching college football kind of seriously for about 10 years now. I don't ever remember seeing Tulane being ranked this high other than me playing my NCAA 14 dynasty as a kid, trying to build them up. I had an old dynasty of them back in the day, so maybe some bias. But yeah, home field advantage. These fans are gonna be excited. If they win this game, they're gonna be top 15. So home field's gonna be rowdy. The players are, I'm sure, it's so hyped for this game. So I got the green wave.
All right then. No, that I'm looking forward to that. We'll see how Tulane goes about the rest of the season. Very intriguing to hear about them. So let's move on now to the Pac-12. So we've got number 25 Washington. They're now ranked again at number 6 Oregon. So guys, Oregon's got a legit shot actually at the playoff now. After their crushing loss to Georgia at the beginning of the season, they've really seemed to come alive lately with Bo Nix under the helm. So guys, let me start here with Griffin. What do you think about this?
It will be Oregon. Ever since getting that field goal blowout by Georgia, they've averaged 40 points a game. Bo Nix is playing at a Heisman level. He's finally, getting used to the playbook, like I've said time and time again. And he's got the resume. They've beaten teams like UCLA. They know how to win. I think they win again, and they're hungry. They want Georgia again. I think they win.
Yep. Daniel?
Yeah, Oregon's proved themselves against good competition since Georgia, and that offense is clicking. So I don't see Washington beating them.
All right, Patrick.
I hate when people talk about Oregon and they say, "Oh, well, they got blown out by Georgia week 1." Week 1 was what, like 2 months ago? This Oregon team has been looking sharp as of late. And sure, Michael Penix and his boys on offense, they're pretty explosive. But I just think Oregon, they've been rolling ever since week 1. They've really been figuring themselves out, and they're playing at home, which is always a bonus. So Oregon's going to take this one.
Yep. Leah?
Yeah, I got Oregon too. They just can't lose at home, especially being in this position, almost making the top 4. So, I mean, if they have a legit shot, they should win this game. I mean, home field advantage, kind of a big deal for them. I mean, like Patrick said, everyone's basing their whole season off of that one game in the beginning. So, I mean, it's only up from here, I think.
No, that's true. You're right. Everyone is basing off of it, and you're all absolutely right. But I think the bigger picture is how far they've come from that game, how they've developed as a team, which is really a stunning thing to see. And I think see how that plays out. Especially I'm intrigued with USC. I don't know if they play them, but it probably would be in the Pac-12 championship game. So I think that would be really interesting.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah, that would be a good one. All right, let's move on now to the Big 12. We've got number 4 TCU traveling to Austin to play number 18 Texas. Daniel, I'm going to start with you here. Do we think that TCU takes an L here for once this season? No?
TCU's got too much to play for, and I don't really think Texas is all that. They almost beat Bama, but Bama was struggling at the time, so
yeah, I don't blame
them.
I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know what the hype is with Texas being a number 18. I mean, they're a good team, but it's like they win a game and then they put them in the right game until they lose. I don't know. That's just me though. Patrick, I see you with the horns up.
Give me Texas. I like it. I think TCU has everything to lose and Texas has nothing to lose. The matchup kind of reminds me of like when we played, like Clemson played Notre Dame. Like, sure, Texas is in a little better spot than Notre Dame, but Clemson had everything to lose, just like TCU does in this situation. And once again, home field advantage at Texas. That's gonna be huge. These fans would love to see their in-state rival season get spoiled at the hands of them. Quinn Ewers, my man Bijan Robinson, they're gonna come in, and I think they're gonna get it done.
All right, Leah.
Yeah, I got Texas as well. I mean, college game day going there. I mean, TCU has beat 3 of the 4 ranked matchups they had at home. So this is a huge road test for them. And I think it could be easily spoiled, and their chances of even making the college football playoffs. So I got Texas. I mean, they've showed up in big games recently and throughout their season, lost a few, but I think they get it done at home.
All right, Griffin. I saw you also with the horns up.
Horns up. Texas is back.
Oh.
TCU just started off way too slow last game, in my opinion. They haven't had an away game like Texas. Sure, you could say that Kansas College game day, but they haven't had all of their big tests have been at home. All their games have been close. I said before, their stars come to shine. Quinn Ewers, Patrick Stude-Bijan, Xavier Worthy. I think they all get it done.
Wow. All right. So Daniel is the sole believer of TCU this weekend. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. Let's see if they have a similar fate to Clemson last week, or if they avenge and go to Texas and win. So we'll see. All right. Let's move on now to some buy or sell. So let's start with the college football playoff. Guys, buy or sell. There will be 2 SEC teams in the college football playoff. Patrick, I'll start with you here.
Bye. The SEC is just too good. I really want it to be LSU, but they do have to come in and beat Georgia to basically get themselves in. You see Michigan and Ohio State, they're gonna have to play each other. Obviously TCU could lose this week, and if they lose once, they'll basically be out of they'll be right behind Tennessee. So I think it's either going to be Tennessee or LSU, and it's really looking like it could be Tennessee. I want Brian Kelly and his squad to be in, but 2 teams from the SEC are going to make it in, bottom line.
All right, Leah.
Yeah, I'm going to buy this one too. I mean, like, I think it's going to be Georgia and Tennessee. I mean, that last week loss, like that Tennessee had last week, it was pretty rough, but it can't really deter us from everything that they've done this whole season. Like, they've been like unstoppable this entire season. So I think they should still be considered. I mean, they are at 5 right now, but I mean, you know, they should be considered more than LSU or so. I think it's just going to be, I think there's going to be 2 teams from the SEC in there. That conference is just so strong.
All right, Griffin.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy as well. Obviously, Georgia will probably be up there as long as they're undefeated going to the SEC championship. Tennessee, like everyone else said, but LSU, if they pull off the upset against Georgia, I wouldn't be surprised if they slip into 4. Neither with Bama, they could definitely have the chance. It's really slim, but I think the Ohio State Michigan game is kind of just hanging in the balance. And if TCU lose, they're done. So I buy it. I could see it.
All right, Daniel.
I want to say sell, but CFP just loves the SEC. So, but at the end of the day, whether there's 2 SEC teams or not, it's Georgia and everybody else. I don't see anybody beating Georgia. So
That's fair. That's a fair assessment. It's hard. I want to say sell on this one only because I feel like that Tennessee Georgia game was not as competitive as it should have been. I think if it were more competitive, I would probably say definitely at least 2 SEC teams. However, what happens if that Ohio State Michigan game is super competitive too, and that's one of their only losses? Like that could be 2 Big Ten teams in there too. So
it's one or the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I think it will be either 2 SEC or 2 Big Ten. So.
And if Oregon wins out and TCU wins out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or throw in USC in there for the heck of it. I don't know.
Yeah, the committee's got a lot to think about.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be chaotic. I don't know. So I think it will be interesting to see down the line what will happen, but I could very much also see a 2 SEC teams in the playoffs. So interesting. All right, let's move on now to the NFL. So the Colts, they hired Jeff Saturday as their interim coach. Guys, is this the right move? Are we buying or selling this? I'm gonna start with Leah here.
Definitely selling this.
All right. You don't need an explanation if you don't want to make an explanation.
I mean, like, I'm used to seeing him on like TV when I turn on ESPN as an analyst. I mean, like, he hasn't coached college or NFL in his life. So, I mean, I was just super surprised at the decision. It's kind of an odd choice. I mean, he's only the replacement for now, but it was kind of just a shock to me. I feel like he was too. I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair. Griffin.
Yeah, I'm selling this. The only time he was a coach was in high school. He was 3-7. That says it for itself. I don't understand what the Colts were doing here. They're quarterback away from a ring. I'm just really confused by this. I'm selling it. Prove me wrong. I don't care. Prove me wrong, but I'm selling it.
Daniel.
I don't even know who Jeff Saturday is. But it sounds like the Colts are just scrambling to find something to work.
I mean, yeah, Patrick.
Oh boy. The Colts, yeah, they've really been confusing me lately. I mean, I was thinking about it earlier today, and I wonder if this is how people reacted when Steve Kerr got hired, because I don't know. I mean, obviously both analysts, whatever, they're getting thrown in. But the Colts, like, I think this is them, like, sure, Jeff Saturday, Colts legend, Peyton Manning center. Sure, he knows a lot about football. But I think this is the Colts is saying, all right, we're throwing in the white flag. All right, let's go. Let's get this number 1 pick. Let's get Bryce Young, because with the whole QB situation, not even playing Matt Ryan too, I think they're just tanking. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't blame you one bit. I'm not gonna lie, Daniel. When I did hear the name, I had no clue who he was, and then I saw his face, and I was like, "Oh, that guy."
Yeah, he said Peyton Manning's center. And I was like, oh yeah.
No.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know what the Colts are doing here. I think if I were an assistant at the Colts, I would be very. I don't even know what to say. I'd be really pissed. I think I'm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? Oh my gosh. I mean, what if it works out? I'm sure not. I'm sure it won't. But what if it does?
Shot in the dark.
Who do they play
I
next?
mean, they're just so bad right now anyway. Like, I feel like they have nothing to lose,
Oh.
I guess. But
They're playing the Raiders this weekend. That's because I was thinking RJ.
RJ would be going off right now.
Yeah, I know. Where's RJ? No wonder why. I'm like, who are they playing? Oh, I mean, but it's at Las Vegas, so I think the Raiders will probably win that. But that's But, oh gosh, Indianapolis. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm glad I'm not a fan of you right now. And that's all I can say there. All right, moving on. Aaron Rodgers, man. Green Bay lost again. It's their 5th loss in a row, if that's correct, which ties Aaron Rodgers' longest losing streak, which is ridiculous. They lost to the Detroit Lions the other day, who were at the time 1-6. And so, guys, is Aaron Rodgers the problem in Green Bay?
No.
Griffin, I'll start with you here.
I think he's just frustrated because this Packer franchise has never given him anything. First round every year they go defensive, or if they don't, they go quarterback. I understand the frustration. Even in the trade deadline, you had guys like Judy, Brandon Cooks. I mean, even OBJ's on the free agency, and they're not even going out for anybody. And I see the frustration, having Devontae Adams now having nobody. I mean, it hurts. I sell it.
All right, Daniel.
For sure. So, like, he had one terrible game this season, which was the Lions, and 3 picks in the red zone. People have been talking all about that. Oh, Rodgers is terrible, but like, he has no one to throw to except Aaron Jones, who's a run back. Like, and the defense outside of Jair Alexander and Rasul Douglas, there's nobody else on that defense that's making plays. So
Yeah.
it's not his fault.
Patrick?
Aaron Rodgers, sure, he's doing some things that are questionable, like saying all the stuff on McAfee's podcast and whatnot. But I mean, like, if I was him, I'd be doing the same thing. Like, this team clearly doesn't care about him, so why does he have to care about what the Packers think about him? Other than, Alan Lazard, like, sure, he's been balling this year, but who's even their wide receiver too? Like, Christian Watson's been banged up this whole year. Usually most teams I can name like 2 or 3 receivers, but like Tanyan, Lazard, Christian Watson, then you got your running backs. This guy has no weapons to deal with, and I'm sure he's just hurting so much without Devontae right now. So, I mean, yeah, it's just very unfair treatment of him, and he's not the problem with it. That's all I got to say.
All right, Leah.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell this. I'm gonna agree with everybody else. I mean, he's obviously not the problem. I mean, I feel like it started when Devonte Adams left because they're both now like not as successful as everybody thought. At least Devonte Adams was gonna be with Las Vegas, but I mean, he's hurting really bad without him, without basically any help, to help his team. And the defense is a whole nother story. I mean, like the offense is producing. I mean, they're getting some points on the board, but when you're giving up that many points and even more in just 5 straight losses is kind of a big deal. So I feel like the front office has got to do something, but they got to keep Aaron Rodgers because he's not the problem.
All right. I mean, didn't you guys see that they tried to get Chase Claypool and
They
Darren
traded
Waller?
him to the Bears because they didn't want to give him to the Packers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that made me laugh.
They wanted like higher draft pick or something like
Works
that.
for me.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
They're
my
down.
Green Bay, man. Green Bay. What are you doing? What are you doing, man? I mean, yeah. And let's just start with some NFL pick'ems because I'm looking at this first matchup and I was almost about to laugh out loud because I forgot that I realized they just played each other. So, and we know what that result was. That was the Falcons at the Panthers, playing for what was that, like overtime? If I'm correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say double overtime, but I don't think they went that far. I don't think you can go that far in the NFL, anyways. But so we got the Falcons and the Panthers Thursday Night Football. So another prime time matchup, another excellent matchup. Daniel, I'm going to start with you. Who do you have in this rematch?
Clash of the Titans here. They both really want to lose. That's what they're
I
good
know.
at.
That's so
They just
fair.
love giving the game away, whether it's a 20-point lead or anything. So the Panthers been terrible last week and have a quarterback issues, so I guess the Falcons will win or
All
not lose. On a-
All right, that sounds very confident. I respect the hesitation there making that pick. Patrick?
I'm going to go with ATL. I don't understand how the Panthers absolutely roll over the Brady and the Bucks and then give whatever performance they gave last week. Like, oh my gosh, that was horrendous. That was terrible. And I just feel like they're so deflated now. It doesn't even matter, like, any matchups or anything. Like, they just got to be deflated. They got to be tanking. They want Bryce Young. They want CJ Stroud. Atlanta's just, they'll take care of business.
Leah?
Yeah, I got the Falcons too. I mean, I was kind of like thinking about this game for a little bit because how close it was. But I mean, the Panthers and their QB situation. I mean, Baker Mayfield not being who he said he was going to be and made everybody believe he was going to be this great quarterback on a new team. But obviously that didn't work out. So, I mean, I'm picking Marcus Mariota and the Falcons for this one.
All right. Griffin?
Why do they make Thursday Night Football the worst game?
For real.
I'm dumbfounded. It's awful. It's awful. Falcons win it, but I'm not going to tune in. I hate to say it. I just can't watch these games. They're like 10-3.
Oof.
I need action.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Well, we got a lot of offensive action last time. I mean, it was a good
It
game.
was surprising, but
Yeah, no.
It's true.
But that was on a Sunday, though. It was a Thursday, so that could change.
At least it's not the Broncos.
No, that's
Yeah, I don't know how the
that's
Broncos keep
true.
getting primetime games.
Oh God, no, you're
that would have been a game with a lot of field goals,
yeah, no, definitely.
like always.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so glad we don't have to see that tomorrow night. All right. Well, we're gonna move on to the Sunday games now. We're gonna start with the Seahawks at the Buccaneers, who the Panthers did kill at one point. So I did forget about this. Guys, do we have the Buccaneers bouncing back? Well, they won last week, but do we have them continuing to win, actually, for a change? I'll start with Patrick.
Sure, they won last week, and sure, they're number one in their division, but their division is probably the worst in football right now. I am a big Geno Smith fan this year. I love the way he's playing. Not every single game is incredible or anything, but the Seahawks, yeah, they're 6-3. Kenneth Walker has been a huge emergence for them. It was about time he started getting reps anyway. Like, unfortunately, Penny got hurt in that, but that's what opened the door for Walker. I love the trio of him, Geno, DK. Then you can't forget about Lockett. I just think Seahawks, they're just gonna outscore Brady and the Bucks. The Buccaneers offense it's just not it.
Leah.
Yeah, I'm going with Patrick on this one. Seahawks. I mean, every week Geno Smith is looking more and more impressive after that whole Russell Wilson trade. Everybody thought the Seahawks were going downhill, but it ends up turning out better than the Broncos right now. So they kind of won that trade, I think. But I mean, the Bucks won last week, but it was like they went 60 yards in like 30 seconds. So you obviously, it seems like they can't do that every week because 5 losses. So I'm taking the Seahawks. It looks like they're the stronger team, especially last week against the Cardinals. They had a huge win last week. So,
All right, Griffin.
I think it's a close one, but I like Seattle. I'm going to play it safe with the safer team. Buccaneers looked promising, but I don't think they keep it the whole game. I like Seattle.
All right, Daniel.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Seattle. Buccaneers can't get any run game going, and Brady's throwing it like 50 times a game, and they're still not producing anything on offense. And they're also going to Munich, Germany for it, so that's another crutch.
Oh, is this in Germany?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I
I
didn't
didn't even know that. Wow.
I didn't even know that either. Oh, man.
Adds more stress to Tom Brady's already stressful life.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Lord.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even realize that. Wait, so what time is the game then? Is it
Like 9:05 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's why. Okay.
That explains
Yeah.
so much.
Oh, Tom.
Oh gosh, I really did not know that. So, oops, I was not even paying attention to that. But, all right. Well, that should make the game more interesting then, I guess. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. All right. Oh, let's move on now. We've got the Lions at the Bears. A never really great rivalry game going on here. So, Leah, I'm going to start with you. Who do you have in this game?
Yeah, so I got the Bears in this one. Big home game for them. I mean, I think Justin Fields is looking awesome this whole year. He's only been like progressing. That game against the Patriots was so good. I mean, like, I'm a Patriots fan, so that was pretty sad for me to watch, but it was a pretty impressive offensive, performance by him. So I think their record doesn't really show what they're capable of. So I think, the Lions haven't been producing either. I mean, they won last week, but it doesn't really show how they are. So I got the Bears at home.
All right, Griffin, who do you have in this 6th loss matchup here?
I like the Bears. I just think they're doing good things at the right time. Justin Fields is taking advantage. He saved my fantasy team last week, so I'm obviously high on him. And I just think this Lions defense I think their offense won't score as much as their defense can hold them. That's kind of been how it's gone the whole year, except for last week. But I think the Bears pick up another win in this one.
All right, Daniel.
Yeah, what the Bears did to a pretty good defense, they'll light up the Lions because the Lions, it's just their defense is utterly trash. So, and their offense is iffy.
All
But I
right,
like Justin Fields and what he's been doing past couple weeks.
that's fair. Patrick?
Okay, so if you guys don't know, I'm like the biggest Bears fan. You see my Walter Payton jersey right up here on the back. Justin Fields is him. Justin Fields is him. The past 3 weeks, it's been so just enjoyable to actually watch like their offense do something together. I love everyone's talking about Justin Fields, but you can't forget the running back duo of David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert. Those two, I like the way they run together. Like it's good. Herbert's been a good change of pace for Montgomery. Obviously, Montgomery's been a little banged up this year. So watching those three just ball out has been really good. I think the Bears are honestly in high spirits. I think getting Claypool in the trade probably boosted some guys' morale, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Maybe not defensive with getting rid of Roquan and Robert Quinn. But I think spirits are up in Chicago a little bit, and I think they'll take care of a pretty deflated Lions team right now. So
I think the Bears next year could be really good too with the
Oh,
draft picks they have. They don't
lots
have
of
to
cap
draft
space
necessarily,
too.
but they'd have a lot of leverage if they want to get some really good
Oh,
free
yeah.
agents in the future. So I think they played it smart in my opinion. But
Tear down.
yeah, we'll see. All right, for these last two games, please just pick the team, no analysis. All right, so we're gonna start with the Saints at the Steelers. So Griffin,
I like the Saints.
Daniel,
Saints.
Patrick,
Saints.
and Leah.
Saints.
All right. And then we've got the Cardinals at the Rams. Daniel, I'll start with you.
Cardinals.
All right, Patrick,
Cards.
Leah.
I got the Rams.
Ooh, okay. Griffin.
Rams are struggling. Cardinals.
All right. Well, Leah, you're the only loner. You're the loner in this one. All right, that's how we'll wrap it up tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of The Extra Point, and we'll see you all next week with another episode. So, bye, everyone.
Tear down.